Happy Wednesday.
Happy hump day. Hopefully you listen to the day that it comes out. Otherwise, happy whatever day of the week it is.
Can I just tell you about hump day? So I had no idea what it meant. Did I tell you this?
No.
I had no idea what hump day meant. I thought in high school and stuff, people were just being perverts this whole entire time. And then my coworker at Sigmund, she says it all the time, and she's an older lady. And she told me half day of the week. She came in one day and I was like, that's hump day. I had no idea. I thought it was just some perverted sexual thing that people said in high school.
I love that. That you took that your whole adulthood.
Yeah.
Don't talk bad about yourself.
I'm naive. I'm a little baby.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. We have lists and bullets, and we're going to really be staying on track here and saying all of our thoughts. Because sometimes we think a podcast episode is going to be saying one thing, and then after we record and listen to it, we're like, dang, we forgot this and this and this.
Yeah, we're getting better.
We're organized today.
Yeah. So first off, we want to talk about our winning Wednesday. Or
win of the Wednesday, win of the week.
Yeah.
Winning Wednesday. Yeah. We'll narrow it out. If you can hear the seagulls, I'm sorry. I do not know how to edit that out. Last week, I did edit out a cough.
Also, my voice is pretty raspy. I have a sickness, and I may cough a few times, but sorry about my voice.
So, you wanted to bring up our...
So, winning Wednesday. What were your wins of the week?
My wins this week? Oh, I didn't even think of them. My morning routine.
Yes.
I did that. I said last week I was going to do that. I recorded it Monday. I recorded Tuesday, recorded Wednesday, recorded Thursday, uploaded it. The Monday one I did not upload until Tuesday, but got all of those out into the universe on the tickety-tackety.
Yep.
And then Friday I was like, oh, it's my day off. And I woke up and I went back to bed and I did not do it. So then I was going to talk about on the podcast, like, do you do different morning routines on the weekend versus during the week, or on your days off versus the days that you work?
I think most people would, kind of.
But then I was thinking what I'm doing in my morning routine is gratitude, my hand massager, brushing my teeth, washing my face. Like, I should probably still be doing that even on the weekends. It'll just won't be as early.
It won't be as early, or maybe you won't do it all at once because you're not at such a time rough schedule. But that's what I kind of struggled with the morning routine, because that was my focus, but I did not do that.
But you also had sick kids, so
yeah,
you're fine. Very sick kids. Sorry about it. My family probably gave it to her family, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
So, the week before, I did have sick kids. But my win was my meal prep, because we were doing those on Sundays.
Yeah.
So,
my win of the week was just keeping my household together. That's all that I could muster.
Kept them children alive.
Yep. We had very pukey kids. So Peyton started getting sick on Sunday night. It went into Monday. She missed school Monday.
Cheer.
I have never seen someone throw up so much in my life. It was the saddest thing ever. And then she missed cheer. And then I got sick starting Wednesday night. And I missed work on Thursday. I didn't have the pukey. I just had like the respiratory. So like the chest and things like that, the cough. And then Sawyer came home from school yesterday sick. So he made it about 30 minutes in school, and then I got a call to pick him up. So that was my win, is just surviving. Yep.
And we did a book.
Yeah, we did a book.
So we did not finish Hustle, Believe, Receive. I'm going to tell you that right now. So it's a new book, a different book that we got into when Vanessa came up with with our main topic for today. But our win from the week previous, I ate on plan. Vanessa kept her house clean, so we're going to continue to roll with that. So last week, we did not meal prep on Sunday, or normally we do Sundays, Saturdays, whatever day like ends up working with our kids' schedules. So we didn't meal prep last week. I didn't do great this week. I did not gain any weight. I did lose. I lost when I got sick, and I kept it off all week. So I did like my oatmeal for breakfast because I still had oatmeal and it was easy enough to throw in the morning. And then I don't even know what I was eating for dinners. Whatever. I can't recall. But I didn't gain. I kept the weight off that I lost when I was sick. And so we're calling that, win. My morning routine win.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you do keeping your room clean?
Not great. But I had to make like beds in my room for my children. So they were close to me. I mean, it's not terrible. It would probably take me 15 minutes to pick up. So not bad. I did not do great on doing laundry during the week. But again, a few loads this weekend and it'll be done.
Perfect.
So yeah.
New focus. Mine, I'm going to be trying to just stay with this morning routine. And we are I guess this week, remember I said I was just going to do that avocado toast?
Yeah, you said so you didn't want to meal plan.
Yeah, so we're not meal planning, but I am buying what I want to buy. So this next week for what I'm going to eat for breakfast, my oatmeal. For lunch, I'm going to do avocado toast that I love with the Aldi everything bagel seasoning. Is that what it's called?
Everything but the bagel.
Yeah, so good. And then I do a squeeze of, what's that called? Glaze, balsamic glaze on the top.
Do you put tomatoes on it?
No, I don't like tomatoes. Ugh.
But I don't really love tomatoes either, but I like it that way.
Yeah, and I rip up little mozzarella and I put it on there. It is my favorite. So I was gonna weigh it and track it and make sure that it fits in. I kind of sort of calorie check, kind of sort of macro check, very inconsistently. So that's gonna be my lunch, and then I think a bag salad, possibly with tuna or chicken on it, for my dinner.
Nice.
Because I do want to hit my protein because we're lifting. We lift 5 days a week, right? And so I want to hit the protein, get those gains. So that's what I'm going to eat next week. I don't know, because I said on TikTok that I was doing a 75 morning routine. Well, then I messed it up kind of on Friday. So I'm like, do I restart as day one? Do I post what I did today?
Technically, you're supposed to, but you're not doing a hard 75 hard.
So I was gonna make a little video being I woke up. I didn't do one Friday. So for Saturday, for today, we're recording on Saturday. I'm gonna maybe post a little something. I did a video this morning. I woke up, weighed myself, took a shower, blow dried my hair, straightened my hair. I didn't even tell you the blow dryer. I was it sucked in some of my hair in the back. I had to rip it out.
I've done that before. Especially with those itty bitty hair dryers at the hotels and stuff.
No, we have a really little one. Oh. So I didn't own a blow dryer, and then Josh was gonna plastic the windows, and so he went to the dollar store or something and got whatever they have. It's this little teeny tiny bright purple, super loud blow dryer that I have, and yeah, it sucks some of my hair in. But maybe gonna make a TikTok about that. Probably will today.
My focus on this week will be to try to do my morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try.
You're gonna do it.
Recording myself is difficult, and I look like a monster in the morning.
Well, don't talk bad about yourself.
I just I don't know. So we'll see. I have recorded it a few times, but then I just don't have the guts to post it, I think. So we'll just roll with it.
That kind of is the scary part now, is because people that we know are our viewers and our listeners and not strangers yet. I think it's
and that's the most nerve-wracking thing is people that I know are listening. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
It's less scary, I think, to pretend we're only talking to strangers or our avatar, because we took a class to podcast, and you make an avatar. You give her a name, you find her a picture of her. It doesn't have to be a girl, but ours is. And then you give her an age, you give her a job, you give her what is she going to be doing when she listens. And then you're only supposed to talk to your avatar, so that you're creating your podcast for your... what's that called?
Our potential listener, who...
Well, our audio, who we want it to be. What's that pool called? Our direct... like audience or whatever.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Like, you know, at Victoria's Secret when it would be like, oh, we want like this age and this whatever. Like, what's that called? Your consumer like demographic or whatever. There's not like a more specific name for it?
Not that I can think of right now. I don't know.
All right. Ready to get into it?
Yeah. Are you ready?
I got my notes. We got our book. Do you want to hold it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess what I was thinking about the last few weeks kind of is, you know, making our husbands our priority. I feel like as moms, we do a great job making our kids priority. You know, planning things with them, you know, just spending time with them. Like, they're my number one priority. And then I heard someone say, once the kids are gone, it'll just be you and your spouse. And how are you creating a life that you want and to continue? You know, like, so you should be really putting a lot of focus on your marriage because that's all you'll have once your kids leave the house. And that kind of scared me a little bit.
Have you ever seen those Facebook posts where it's like, who do you feed first, your husband or your kids or whatever?
Yeah.
Josh and I talk about that all the time, and because, you know, we're married, we have kids, like, what is the right answer? So I asked him, and he's like, we always feed the kids first because I don't want to hear them whining and complaining that they're hungry. He's like, you get them settled, and then... But I think when you really make your marriage a priority, I think it's it would be... I don't know. Josh and I always debate on it because I see pros and cons to both ways. I see pros to... I mean, Josh really doesn't care. And Josh is, like, not always, like, a dinner hungry, like, type of person.
Yeah, well,
like,
that's just, like, for dinner. I mean...
It's kind of the same concept.
Yeah, but, like, as mothers, I feel like we eat after our kids eat. So our husbands...
Should also.
I don't know. See, I have, like, a very different approach. Like, to me, my husband should understand that my kids are a priority. And he should make more of an effort to make our marriage priority to him. But I get it. I get that I need to make it a priority. I do struggle with that. And then thinking, you know, John is home because of surgery, so he's not working. And that's been since January. So I think when I do come home, he lacks that adult interaction and he's bored and wants my attention, my full abided attention. He's pretty, like, irritable right now and not loving life because he can't do any of the things that he loves. So I was just thinking, like, taking a step back and trying to really understand how he's feeling. And it made me think of the time that I was on maternity leave. And then also when I had Sawyer, I decided to step back from my job and try to be a stay-at-home mom with Sawyer. And I hated it. Not having any adult interaction and just talking baby talk all day drove me nuts. And John worked in the oil field at that time, so he was gone weeks at a time. So it was very, very, very challenging to me. And I just feel like maybe that is how he is feeling. And when I come home from work, I take the kids to sports, I grocery shop, I work out, so we don't really talk during the week, I feel. So yeah, just wanting to make my marriage more of a priority and understand how he's feeling because he's not the best at telling me how he feels. And I think it's coming off as he's angry or not happy when I should be looking back and really thinking how he's feeling. But then that's what got us into wanting to read the 5 love languages.
Yeah. So we read it this week.
Yeah.
So my take on it, I was going to share, before we get into the book, kind of like mine and Josh's story, my background. He gave me permission, I guess, and I'll put a trigger warning in because of substance abuse issues. So I don't want that to be triggering to anyone that will be listening. Josh and I got together when I was 19, and I really don't know how old he was. I could do the math, but I'm not going to right now. So
I feel like we can't math when we talk on this.
No. So I was introduced to him as like this broke college kid who had a broke down car and he needed to fix my car. By his neighbor, my like friend's mom's friend, like was neighbors with him. And then I had a gas leak in my car, so it was like dripping gas when I was driving and stuff. And then when he looked at my car, he said also like something about my brakes. I don't really know. I was just young and also in a relationship. And then, he fixed my car. We got to talking. My relationship ended. Soon Josh and I started having relations. Soon I was pregnant. And that kind of was like it. I don't remember what month. He fixed my car on the 4th of July. And then when I went to pick up my car, it was the 3rd of July because Appleton's fireworks are on the 3rd. I went to pick up my car. We were there till it would have been like the weekend before that because I was there till like 3 o'clock in the morning talking to him in his garage. And then on the 3rd of July, I said I wanted to go to the fireworks. I was in a relationship. He offered to take me. I didn't want to tell him I was in a relationship and I couldn't just go to the fireworks with him. So, yeah, I mean, soon after that, it was messy in the beginning, but we had Brooklyn, beautiful, great, awesome little baby.
Yes.
And I don't even know what month I found out that he used drugs. But I did find out, and then we went on the roller coaster of ups and downs of when I'd find something, he'd say it was old, when, whatever, it was lies. And it was it was traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
It really is traumatic when you have to dig through their belongings. You don't have to, because I could have left. Could have, Brooklyn had my last name because I'm like, who even knows this guy?
Yeah,
so we didn't know that we would stay together or anything. And I wasn't going to get married to him because we were having a kid. My family was
Mm-hmm.
lots of single moms in the family. So I ended up, obviously, I mean, we're still together now. We're married 2 kids later. But it was a lot of ups and downs. And now he's sober, clean. We don't have a date. It just happened one day. And he doesn't count. So he personally doesn't count it because he's like, well, I'm never going to go back to that. So why count the days? I asked him at one point, should we have a certain day of the year where
the
we
days he's sober?
Yeah. I said, should we pick a day for you to celebrate? Whatever. It is a big accomplishment. He never went to rehab. For a while, I did give him random drug tests when he would come home. But I mean that's a big
accomplishment. That's huge.
Yeah. And it's a big part of our story. I mean, working at Victoria's Secret, no, I didn't tell people, but people knew.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I don't know if I should say her name or not. But Keely for sure knew. She would tell me,
yeah,
Tanisha, you know who he's hanging out with. You know, blah, blah, blah. She was really people knew, but they didn't know.
He was just kind of erratic behavior.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, we knew, I'm not going to say we were not worried, but, we knew. I mean.
Yeah.
Because he would, at times, be
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we made it through that, and now this kind of explains how our relationship is now, which is why I bring it up. He's totally fine with me talking about it, everything, but now he feels so thankful and grateful that he owes me his life, kind of
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy way of saying it, but you can tell in the way that he acts now. He is completely obsessed with me, in love with me, all the things. He does not act like a normal married man, I don't think. Like, he does.
I mean, there's a lot of things where
He does.
I mean, there's a lot of things where I tell you where, I mean, you have to realize how nice that is, and most men don't do that.
Mm-hmm. So I say that all to say, when I'm reading this book, it's really hard for me, because when people will be like, oh, this is happening with my significant other, my spouse, whatever, like, I'm like, I can't relate. The only time Josh was that way, he was literally doing, I don't know if I should say what it was, but he was literally doing like hardcore, very addictive, people die drugs. And so I'm like, yeah, was there instances where I would like leave to go downtown and he would like call me cussing me out or accuse me of cheating when I got home, or like,
yeah, he was very jealous, or like,
he always thought I had something to hide.
And that's because he had something to hide. Yeah, for sure.
So it was, I mean, it was a wild time. I have no idea why I put up with it, because I did put up with,
I mean, you loved him,
insane things.
You had children together, and I think also thinking about how my childhood was, you didn't want that for your kids. You probably really wanted a
and there was a lot of times I believed that he was sober. Like, there was a lot of times that I really thought it was the last time, when it was not the last time. And what really made him change, you know, the very last time I was like totally ready to like leave. I was really going to, and really like ready to. We weren't married yet. We had 2 kids, and I really was like gonna go. And we didn't talk for like a few days, and then I think he's like, dang, she's not blowing up my phone. She's not trying to come to where I am. She's not calling or texting any of my friends. Like, she's really like giving up. And then he's like, I need to get it together.
Yeah.
And so now I think really like I put up with all that because now he puts up with me.
I mean, he's absolutely obsessed with you.
Yeah. Like, people will be like, I can't have a low self-esteem because of how insane he is. Like, I always, oh, you look great, you look this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm the hottest chick on earth. Like, he literally, like, is obsessed with me.
And he knows your love language.
Yeah. Like,
to a T. Like, he knows how to make you happy.
Yeah. And we do really work on communication. Whenever we've gone through anything, we were both smokers back then. We would like sit outside. Our kids were either inside in bed or in a high chair. I mean, I was a young mom. We were out, like, we would smoke cigarettes on the back porch in the driveway for like hours and hours and hours, and talk and talk and talk and talk. And that, like, I think
that's a big thing about great marriage. We can go on to say, like, in the beginning of this book, the author asks for you to complete a sentence. And it starts off, there would be fewer divorces if only people would. And my thought was, learn how to communicate with each other. And you said that was your thought too. And I think you just said it. You guys learned how to communicate with each other. And
yeah, and I think really, like, if you say what you need, like, there's a lot of, so many times. I mean, even just recently, I said something about, like, we need to go on dates more. So then there was, like, a few weeks in a row where once a week we were, like, going on a date. It's not, like, a regular thing, mostly because of financial reasons.
Financial, and, I mean, you have kids. Each week is going to change, obviously, but he still made it a priority to...
Yeah. And if I would say, hey, we still need to keep this date thing going, he would make it happen.
Yeah.
So I very much voice what I need, and he very much delivers, usually. I mean, he is a guy. There has been a hole in our ceiling for a year, so he's not perfect. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, Joshua, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he's still a man, y'all. He is still a man. There was many of times he sent our kids to school with not brushed hair. Does not care what them brushing in their teeth. Like, you know, he's still a man. But
his priorities are you and the girl's happiness, though. Yeah. Like, that is definitely is. He doesn't care about all the other stuff, and that shows.
Yep.
So.
And when we go into communication more on, like, some of the topics that I have to say about the book, he really, like, when we talk about, like, because there's a portion where it says, like, ask what level your cup is at, like 1 to 10, and then say, like,
Your love
cup. So then say it's like a 7, well, what can I do to, like, raise your love cup?
To fill your cup.
Yeah. Like, whenever I ask Josh, like, what I can do for him, he literally just says, be happy. Like, that's all he ever says when I ask him. And then he's gone on to be like, even if you have to fake it till you make it. Sometimes he's like, just cut down on the attitude. I mean, is mostly what he's getting at.
Yeah.
Because I do. I put up with a lot. Now he puts up with a lot. Eventually we'll have harmony.
So about your love cup, I guess one of the, I don't know, quotes that I liked from the book, was when your spouse's emotional love tank is full and feels secure in your love, the whole world looks bright and your spouse will go out to meet his highest potential in life. When empty, he feels used but not loved. The whole world looks dark and he will likely never reach his potential in life. That to me was a very aha moment, because John very much oftenly says that I don't love him, I use him. But I think that goes off of, like, our 5 love languages. Mine, I took the quiz. Mine were, can I see it?
Yeah.
I think you have it on that first page. So
no, it's the last page.
No, it's right here, though. I scored very, like, similar scores in a few of them. John thought my love language was receiving gifts, and that's not me at all. Like, he's always been a gift buyer. Do I appreciate gifts? Yes. But that's not, like, I don't need that. Like, that doesn't always bring me happiness. Mine are words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service. Those were my 3 big ones. Physical touch was probably a close 4th in there. But I need to know that I'm loved. I need to hear it. I constantly ask John, do you love me? Do you love me? Say you love me. Like, I'm constantly fishing for that. And I think that drives him crazy.
I think that's a normal woman thing, though. Yeah. I tell Josh all the time, tell me you love me. Before, like, we kiss, before I leave, whatever. I'm just like, tell me you love me.
Oh, yeah, but, like, John will then say that he loves me, and I'll be like, do you really love me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm annoying like that.
Because tone of voice matters,
and I think,
too.
Yeah.
Not to,
like, are you
John,
just saying,
if you're listening, you gotta tone sometimes, buddy, and I do too. I get you.
So it's just like, yeah, I mean, do you really, or are you just saying it to shut me up? I don't know, things like that. And then quality time is huge. Like,
you can tell. You put your phone down when you're with your kids, when you're with your family. You can't get a hold of you.
No, I'm not big on my phone, because I think you cannot be listening to what I'm saying if you're watching a phone. Like, you cannot fully be interactive with me if you are sitting on your phone watching videos. That drives me bonkers. Huh?
I'm thinking, I've been there at dinner time. We've spent too much time. Not too much, but
a lot of time together.
So much time.
At dinner, John is watching a video on his phone.
Full volume.
Yes, and I'm just there with our kids.
Such a man. The other day, he, like, makes his eggs, goes to the couch. We're trying to do whatever we're trying to do at the table. Full volume. Some, like, baseball thing. I don't even know what it is.
So it's just... Yeah. So quality time is huge. John, for him, quality time is if we are sitting next to each other, doing our own thing. That's not quality time to me.
Yeah.
And, like, we just got into an argument Thursday because we were watching Love is Blind. And he, like, started, like, closing his eyes. And I got upset. Because I was like, if you're not going to watch this with me, then we can shut it off.
Yeah.
We can be done.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm spending time with you. I'm like, you're sleeping on me at this point. I don't know. I have high expectations. I really do. And acts of service.
So with acts of service, is it specific things? Like how specific?
No, it's anything. Like in the book, like doing laundry, him sweeping, him doing dishes, him going to the grocery store. I mean, anything that, for me, my plate is so full,
Mm-hmm.
and it stresses me out so much. Like, we've talked about this during, like, a therapy session, and, like, things that he could take off my plate.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, anything. I think it is so sexy when John is doing the dishes or mopping the floor. He doesn't mop the floor, sweep the floor. But, like, to me, that gets me hot. Like, nothing else.
Yeah.
Because it's one less thing that I have to do and I have to worry about.
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel like, so, do you want me to do you want to read?
Well, here, let me say one more thing. So, John also took the quiz. I knew what he was going to get. Physical touch.
Was it like a...
Oh, it was like landslide. Like...
Okay.
And I knew that was going to be the case. I know him. He's not a very emotional guy. I mean, he doesn't need much.
He's very, like, I feel like manly man. Like, his views.
He is manly man, but he is also very, like, he hides his emotions. He just doesn't ever talk about them, and they come out in anger, unfortunately. But, so he was frustrated with this quiz when we took it together the other night, and his biggest thing is, I only have one way to love him. Like, that, he has one love language. That is all that he asks for, is the physical touch. And with me, I have multiple ways that I need love. So he is like, how is that fair? So I have so many things that I have to do to make you feel loved, and yet you only have to love me one way, and you can't even do that, was his exact words. Which, no, I mean, I get it.
So
I definitely need to make it a priority, but if my love cups aren't filled, if you're not helping me, if you're not loving me and making me feel good all day, I'm not going to want to come home at night and show you that love either.
So my point to say to John, which I haven't seen him since this, because does he hate it? Do you hate it? Sometimes I go over there and I'm just like, John, how are you feeling? And I'm like, let's get into it. Let's get into what success means for you. Let's get into what makes you happy. And he said, like, biking and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, how does that make you? And I, like, kind of drill him a little. Mm-hmm. I'm over there. I'm like, John, let me be your therapist. But then he tells me, it's like, because I made him write some stuff on some sheet of paper and burn it under the moonlight. And he looked at me.
Which I could not believe he did.
He looked at me after that. And he's like, wait, are you rich? I remember that. Yeah. I was like, not yet. Like, we got similar finances going on over here. And he's like, I told him to wash his hands with cinnamon. And he's like, why am I going to do that? If you're not rich, I'm not going to start following what you're doing, this, like, woo-woo stuff.
I don't remember what he said.
I don't either. But then I said to him, well, do you want me to get to be rich and you to have to be left behind? Or do you want to become rich with me? Like, we doing this together. I'm new to this too, John. I haven't been washing my hands with cinnamon forever. That's a new thing, but we do it together. Because I'm like, your wife and I are in business together. We're getting rich. We're getting healthy. We're getting wealthy, you know? And so, I mean, he thinks I'm a little bit crazy, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I think a lot of people think pretty crazy, so. But I get over there and I kind of
I
lay
hopped on
into
your
him.
crazy train, so
I lay
here we
into
are.
him a little bit, and so then, what did he say the one day? He wasn't happy. And I was like, I'll give you a new biking spot if you be happy. And he's like, what do you mean a new biking spot? I'm like, I know a spot in the town we live that
But
has
she talks
those,
about that often.
whatever it's called. I'm like, and I'll tell it to you, but you gotta be in a good mood.
Yeah, I think a hard thing with John is that he doesn't think he can be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not many things that truly make him happy. I don't think he's, like, figured that out exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, my kids make me happy. My husband makes me happy. My friends make me happy. And I think, I don't know. He's kind of, I love you, babe, but you're kind of like a miserable, like you just think you're unhappy, which makes you ultimately unhappy.
Yeah.
And I think you need to find the joy. He needs to find the joys in little things and figure out what truly does make him happy.
I relate.
And we've talked about that. Like, we don't know what exactly makes us happy.
I've said multiple times, I don't really know what fills my cup. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have to work. Do I want to work? No. Who does? No one does. But then it goes into, like, I do like to take workout classes. There was a while then where I said, because people will say, oh, when you're, like, upset, depressed, exchange it out. Go to the gym. The gym increases your mental health. And then I'm like, I don't think the gym really does increase my mental health. But reality, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just being, whatever I was being when I said, I don't think the gym really, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the whole journey of the podcast. We're finding different books. We're trying different things. We're going to really learn about ourselves to really know what fills our cups.
Yeah, I think we became mothers so young that we didn't really have the chance. I'm not going to say live our life.
Yeah.
But in a sense.
And we chose to keep our children. We know there's other options out there. But it doesn't take away the struggles that we have. I mean, like I said last week, I was constantly posting certain things to try and seek validation, which if I had a kid nowadays, I would not have tried to, like, I wouldn't try to seek out. And that's something about Josh. Like, Josh is so confident that he will be like, no, I've never tried to get people to say that I'm a good dad. I am a good dad because I believe I'm a good dad. I think I'm a good dad. I know I'm a good dad. And so I try to embody that in my, like, motherhood. Like, Josh just thinks he's a good dad, so he is a good dad. So if I just think I'm a good mom and not trying to get people to tell me I'm a good mom and then arguing with them about it when they say I am a good mom, like, I just need to embody the good momness. So I say I'm an okay mom. I say Josh is an okay dad. Which people will be like...
I think it's easier for a man to feel like he's a good dad, though.
Yeah.
And I hate saying it, but I think I said it last time too. Men are just held to a less standard. And we are held at such a high standard that us doing the bare minimum does not make us feel like we're good moms.
Josh says, that I'm like a man hater. Like, I kind of am. Like, I really...
Your family is.
Yeah. I really, like, I don't know, I'm like, screw it. I don't need a man. I don't blah, blah, blah. But, like, I love him. I do need him. And I say all that, like, I don't know how to fill my cup and what's not. But as I dive into my takeaways on the book, like, my love cup is full. It's my self-love, my self-fulfillment, things that I need to work on. I really need to, like, and it's been like a years and years thing, like, saying I need to learn what fills my cup, because people say, like, you can't pour from an empty cup and, like, all those types of things. I get them. I understand them. I believe them. Are you ready for it? Did you go over all of yours?
I think so. I mean, besides just saying that I'm really gonna
work on loving
my husband. Especially since he's been home, like, just showing him all the ways that I can love him, and hopefully we can start going on dates.
He says that.
Not that he cares about that, but he cares about what happens after the date.
He told me that. When I was asking him, I was like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, it's what happens after the date. And I'm like, oh, gosh.
But the date fills my love cup.
Yeah.
And then after fills his love cup.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. You found your solution. I love it.
Yeah.
You like it? I love it. So this morning, Josh and I got into a little tiff. And I was filling out the questionnaire and I was a little bit cranky. So my first couple bullet points were, I think that I need all of the love languages, because when I first think about my top love language, it would be gifts. But then I'm looking at these questions in the questionnaire, and it's like stuff about where, I didn't star this one. But there was one where it said, give me a second here. Receiving special gifts from my husband makes me happy, or I enjoy long trips with my husband. And I was like, I circled receiving gifts because I was like, he annoys me when we're together too long, was my thoughts in my head. And then I'm like, these types of questionnaires, like, it really depends on your mood and your mental state when you answer them, kind of.
Yeah, and that was a challenge for me too, is thinking about stuff like that.
But I was like thinking, okay, what gifts has Josh really given me? Like, because that's where like these questions, it's like my husband, my this. So I made a list of the gifts that I've received from Joshua. The very first Christmas we were together, I got a robe from him. Our first wedding anniversary, I got a Yeti cup from him. Teal. For 1 year. Oh, I'm like, he doesn't give me gifts, but he does give me stuff when he goes to the gas station. He does get me.
Yes, so it doesn't have to be like an actual gift, because how you guys do Christmas, you kind of just.
I do all the shopping.
Yeah, but like you guys kind of give yourselves like an amount to spend, you know.
So then I was thinking, maybe my receiving gifts from him is when he lets me have a certain amount of money, I buy exactly what I want, and he doesn't call it stupid. Because some of my purchases he would label as not important, not whatever, but I want them.
Yeah.
But I look to my dad, and my dad, I mean, kind of the way John is with you. Like, John went out and got you the Nespresso. That's like I don't know, like
John is like above beyond gift giver, though. Like, to a point where he shouldn't be like that.
And that's how my dad was. Like, Apple Watch, new iPhone for Bailey.
Yeah, and that's exactly how John is.
Ugg boots, like whatever. And she probably, who even knows if she wanted those Uggs?
But John also thinks like that's what made me happy. Like, yeah, I think he definitely felt a certain way. Like, I got you this gift, now you love me. Like,
my dad, he was literally the best gift giver. Like, the 1 year I wanted a Switch for all of us, got it. Josh and I to get matching hunting clothes. He knows I love matching. Like, so we got, like, yeah, my dad was like, and I see that in John. Like, my dad gets, like, what's the gift that's going to make them the most happy? Who cares the price? Like, new Xbox controller, new, like, whatever, I don't even know. He used to get my cousin Caden, like, I feel like it was whatever his number one thing was. Like, that's what my dad, like, tried to make sure he got him.
Yeah. And John will really, like, think about gifts. Like, you know, like, if I'm thinking about something, like, for instance, I used to get lash extensions, stopped, and then I would probably complain about it often. So then he reached out to my lash lady and got me back in. So, like, that was, like, a big, thoughtful gift. That was a Christmas gift. But that's what he does for gifts. Like, I'm not a good gift giver to him.
So do you think that, where did gift giving go on John's? Because usually what you do is what you want, kind of, in a way.
I don't know exactly, but I think John grew up, I don't want to say poor, but I don't know what other word to say right now. So he didn't have a lot of money growing up, but his mom definitely made it a priority. Like, she's an amazing gift giver, and she will spend all her money to get people she loves gifts. So, like, when he was a kid, he got PlayStations, or his element hooded sweatshirt that he wanted, or video games. Like, I mean, she still does that for him. Even if she doesn't have the means, she still makes it happen.
A lot in this book, too, he will ask couples, like, to look back to their parent. I don't have my finger in the page where it is, but there's like, well, my mom did all the cleaning and all whatever, and my dad did the working. So, like, when they were in their dating, he calls it courting. When they were in their courting phase, like, the one husband was, like, doing these, like, I don't know, helping her with her homework and doing her chores and going to Sunday dinner service at church and stuff. And when they got married, the husband stopped doing that because he's like, well, this is what a marriage is. And so then the therapy guy, I forget, do you know the name of the guy that's, like, writing the book?
Gary Chapman.
So he says in there, like, you need to, like, not change when you get married. Like, because people will default to how they saw their parents versus, like, continuing what they were doing in the dating phase that made each other feel in love.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't, like, he also talks, about the honeymoon, the in-love phase, and then after being the in-love where it's a choice.
Well, and he also states that, like, the obsession of a relationship only lasts... Obsession of a relationship only lasts, like, 2 years. Yeah, what you were saying, though, is I think how they see their parents' love definitely makes how they love. Okay, you know what I mean? Yep. Like, I think that's why...
I think it's more subconsciously for that part. Yeah. And then when you become aware of it, you can change it. But until you're aware of it, it's like a default.
I think that's why John feels that that's how I need love, is because maybe that's how he felt he got love as a kid, or I don't know.
When did his parents separate? Was he older or younger?
Older. Because they were still together. Gosh, they have been separated. I don't even know how long. They were still together when Sawyer was a baby.
Okay. So that's a recent thing. But you don't need to share his business, but I was
it was a different marriage. I mean, his dad was gone a lot working. But his mom was there for everything. Okay. Like,
so is that kind of maybe why he feels like so important about you being at all their stuff? And it's not so important if he's at all their stuff? Like Sawyer's basketball?
Possibly. But I think John's a homebody, and maybe. I never really thought of that.
I didn't either. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. But John puts a lot of stress on Sawyer, I think, to be great. Yeah. So that's why he doesn't come to a lot of things, because Sawyer can't exactly handle it. But yeah, I mean, John's dad, John does a lot of things that his dad did. I mean, starting fights before we're going to go do something. Like, that's something his dad did.
Really?
Yeah.
And sorry, I don't mean to put his parents' marriage or anything.
I never really thought of it that way, but yeah. I mean, he did do that.
Because I personally think a lot of the reason, so I grew up in a very much, I don't think my mom and dad were ever really together. Now I'm not in a place to, like, ask. But I don't think, like, my husband and my dad, if I married my dad, I married my dad. Literally, my dad was in prison when I was young. So, and then with Josh, like, they had, like, my dad and Josh, very much similar. And then my dad, married Bailey, totally in love, head over heels, most beautiful. They had their ups and downs. She needed to learn to not share stuff with her parents. I think she'd be fine with me saying that to the internet. And I think very, like, yeah, so my dad says, my dad says, like, Bailey's parents were 7 years apart. And Bailey and my dad were 7 years apart, and me and Josh were 7 years apart.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So my dad had like said something to me like kind of about kind of like Josh is the one.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't grow up around that. I grew up with my mom and my brother's dad fighting, and then like the people that my mom had after that fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I do fight Josh a lot.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, okay, give me a second to get it together.
I mean, thinking about like that, I don't know how. I mean, my mom and my dad divorced when I was like 2.
Yeah.
They didn't live, my mom never talked bad about my dad, ever. So I never knew all the things my dad put her through. But I stuck up for my dad a lot. Even though my mom was obviously like my number one. But I don't know.
It's getting deep around here.
Yeah.
It's getting deep. And we're almost to our hour mark, which is our point. So I'm going to get my last few points across really quick. And also, I don't know if you're supposed to do this in podcasting. We're new to podcasting. But I don't really exactly know what my love language is. And my husband didn't take the quiz yet. So
I think I know what her love language is.
We are going to do...
She needs to figure it out.
We're going to do some follow-ups to this in the next couple weeks here. So, in the book... So, okay. Josh says his is physical. I don't think his is physical. But then you agree with him that it's physical. I think his is acts of service. He loves to come home to a clean home. I think his would be acts of service.
No, because I think he needs to take the quiz.
Yeah.
I think
so we're
that
leaving
he does not care that much about those things.
We're going to be leaving y'all on a cliffhanger. I'm slightly sorry about it. But there was Patsy and Pete. And so in the book, I don't remember what chapter it was. So he, when they were dating, would always reach out to hug her, would always reach out to kiss her, like all of that stuff. Once they got married, he stopped initiating it. And within 6 months of marriage, they were in marriage counseling, discovering, learning, like they learned what their love languages were. Mm-hmm. And then she like realized like hers was like quality time. They like, I mean, I guess if you really want to know, read the book. But I think that's very like, it was kind of like eye-opening. Like, yeah, he was reaching out to kiss her their whole dating phase. Mm-hmm. Once they got married, he was stopping to reach out to see how long it would take her to reach out. And she wasn't reaching out because she didn't know she needed to. And that's where it relays back to the communication piece. Like, had either one of them communicated what they needed, which then they did in therapy, what's the author called? Gary Chapman. He goes on to say, like, they had this great marriage. He wanted to ask them why and how they had this great marriage, and this is what it was. And that's where, like, I mean, Josh and I did figure out a lot in that beginning, crazy, chaotic phase.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I say, and it leads into my next point, like, I think I need all of them. If you listen to the book on YouTube, it's at 2 hours and 57 minutes where it talks about this part. But if you read the book, it's in chapter 9. He's saying there's 2 types of people that don't know their love, their
language.
Yes. Because either one, which I have it right here in the book. I was going to maybe read it. Number 1 is, when... I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to say from memory. If your love cup has been so full for so long, you, like, don't really know, mm-hmm. which I think is me. Like, I think Josh shows me my love.
Oh, so you think your love is full? I think my love is
full, and that's why I don't know. Because he does all the things I say. Like, if I say, I need you to give me a hug, he does it. If I say, I need you to tell me you love me, he tells me he loves me. If I say I need dates, which would be quality time, he takes me on a date. Like, whatever I say I need from him, he takes me and he does it.
Yeah, because you guys are great at communicating.
So,
but I think, wouldn't you say your love cup was empty?
No, I would say
when you were young? And, like...
Yeah.
Like... prior to meeting Josh and him getting well, don't you think it was empty?
Mm-hmm. And now, I don't know what it is because now he kind of gives me all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think everybody obviously needs all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think people have
he says
more.
that you either don't know because it's full or because it's empty. So the way to find out what it is you ask your spouse from scale to 0 to 10, like how full your love cup is at the end of the day. And you then say, how can I like make it fuller? And he said you will use all 5 love languages as what you need from your spouse like throughout the weeks. But if you take 3 weeks of doing this and charting it and writing it down, you'll then know because one of those things will be more than the other for like which one you're asking for.
So I just want to do that.
I need to do that. I think I need to do that to figure out what my main love language is. Do you want to see my results? I didn't show them to you yet.
Sure.
But
I think I need to do that to learn how to make my husband more of a priority. I think that would help me as asking about his love cup and how I can fill it.
We do, and we have in the past done like, what can I do to make you have like a better day? Like when we're doing our walks with the dog or like whatever. And his every single time is to make me happy. And I've like gotten really deep dive into him. Like, no, I want you to give like a physical thing I could do. And that is when he's been like, well, then just fake being happy. Because I'm like, no, like tell me something I can physically do. Like, adult time.
Josh lives the true happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Like that is his motto. But you have to then think.
Yeah, but like, so I'll be like,
other ways.
And that's where I'll be like, okay, like do the dishes, make the bed, do the laundry, blah, blah, blah. And that's where I always, like, I kind of default to acts of service for him. Because when I reach for his hand, whatever, like he tells me it's physical. But if I stare at him too long, he's like, stop staring at me. Blah, blah. Like, and when he doesn't mind if he's on his phone and we're next to each other. Where like you're saying, if John's on his phone, it's not quality time. Josh doesn't care if he or I or both are on our phones. He won't not count that as time together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a sticky situation. It's a sticky situation.
I think he needs to take the quiz and then we can talk more and figure it out. But I think it's physical touch for him.
That's what he's always said.
And I don't think it's just like, I don't think physical touch is just getting touch from you. Like it's like him touching you as well. Like, like same with John. Like so I know that if I don't let him slap my ass, he's going to be mad.
All right. Are you ready for it? Words of affirmation was a 6. Oh, wait. I put stars on some of these questions. Should we get... This is going to be a long episode today, guys. Thanks for sticking around. This question. Just being around my husband makes me feel good, or I love it when my husband gives me a massage. But I was mad at him when I was filling it out, so I picked massage. Which he doesn't even give me... he scratches my back.
Okay, but... like, you're around your husband a lot, so it may not always make you feel good. So I think, like, him giving you a massage, probably makes you feel more loved because he doesn't normally do it, and if he is doing it, you feel so loved at that moment.
Yeah. So this is where I can count on my husband to help me with projects.
I hated this one.
Or I get excited when opening a gift from my husband. He doesn't give me gifts. So how can I select, I get excited. I get nervous. If he says, I have something for you.
We just talked about him giving you gifts. He just gave you a gift this morning. Like, these little things, like when he comes home with things, and those are gifts.
All right. Are you ready for
your Starbucks gift card this morning? Sorry. That was a gift.
This next one says, I love my husband to compliment my appearance. I love that my husband listens to me and respects my ideas. I was like, this is where like Josh would never not compliment me if he didn't do it. And that's where when we're reading Hustle, Believe, Receive, and it's like write down things you're grateful for, I need to really imagine my life if he didn't do that. Like he is so like, I don't know.
John does not do that.
It's so...
I have to fish for those. And then it just does not feel good.
I feel sad for people like that because I don't know, I cannot relate. I cannot empathize really because I have no idea what it's like to live in a world where Josh isn't constantly doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I walk into a room he's in, look at that booty. I sit in his car, I get out of his car, look at that booty. Like, I've gained 70 pounds in 3 years and he's still like completely obsessed with me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think with my marriage, because I struggle with that question, but I also, like, I may have taken away John's compliments, meaning that he's compliment me and I'm like, yeah, sure. Or I don't believe it, so I don't take it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when a friend says, oh my gosh, your hair looks so great today, I always... Yeah, so if a friend says your hair looks great today, I'm like, oh, really? I just, like, threw it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I always have, like, something else to say. I cannot take a compliment.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because I don't love myself.
See, and that's where Josh doesn't stop doing, like, he does it more. Like, when I'm not feeling like a great mom, he's extra doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, but I think John also can't take a compliment either.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things in normal marriages I cannot relate to because Josh worships the ground that I walk on.
Yeah, he does.
But he also
has his flaws.
Yeah. Like gaming too late at night and bringing my kids late to school the next day. He does have bad things. But
saying yes to you all the time. Just kidding. That's not a flaw, but
him saying yes to everything that I want is a flaw, though. Because he shouldn't say yes if he doesn't mean it, which was our whole argument this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. My answers were words of affirmation was a 6. Quality time was a 6. Receiving gifts was only a 2.
I don't believe that. I think you overthought this whole quiz.
I need to read.
I mean, we'll find out.
Number 10 was acts of service. So my highest was a 10, acts of service. And then my second was physical touch. With a 7.
Acts of service, huh?
Apparently. We were fighting when I took this quiz.
I think you need to retake it.
And I don't know if I count everything gifts. Like, I think I thought about it after finishing it. What is a gift? Because Josh will definitely just, like, hands me money. He knows money makes me happy. I love money.
That's why I'm saying that is definitely yours.
If I'm in a bad mood,
but I think you don't think of it as a gift.
Yeah.
You don't, like...
Because I'm not physically open. So when I truly think like a gift, I think like what my dad did for Bailey or what John does for you. Like going to the store, picking it out, wrapping it, like blah, blah, blah. But Josh does so much little things for me. Like little teeny, I don't know. This is difficult.
I think him just letting you spend money is, is
his giving me a gift, yeah.
And I think that's what he thinks you want and need. I mean... Do you want him buying you a gift or do you want to pick it out?
No, I think he sucks at buying gifts.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've said that because I know that we've talked about that already. So...
Yeah, he definitely hands me money to make me happy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love when he hands me $20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do it. That's going to be our focus every night, asking our husbands about their love cup.
And me tracking mine.
You got to track it because I'm curious. I'm so curious. I mean, I think I had 6s in words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service. For receiving gifts, I think I had a 2 or 3. And then, like I said, my 4th was physical touch. But mine were pretty even, Steven.
For words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service?
Yep. The only thing that was, like, super low was the receiving gifts, which is so crazy because I know that is what John thinks is my love language. And he even argued it when we took the quiz.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, like,
and
what we take out of it and what we put in action.
We already have a plan for next week's episode, so we'll do a little touchback on this and do like our plan for that. But I think we should also do the children one and do the children test, because there is a children test, which we talked about giving our kids. You know, we busy over here. we're busy over here.
Always
so
thinking.
To come next weekend is my dad's birthday. So when we record, we'll be recording on the day before my dad's birthday. It'll release after his birthday. So we're going to do a little
Emotions
grief.
will be high.
Yep, we're going to do a little grief. And there'll be a trigger warning for that, because now I feel like, yeah, we'll talk about it. But I feel like I'm meeting all these moms and telling all these moms about the podcast who also have dead parents. So
we're living our true life over here for you guys.
we're super raw for y'all to
Yep.
not feel alone. The whole entire point of this whole podcast is we don't want other moms feeling sad and alone and like unique. You know, we're unique. We are unique individuals, but our situations aren't unique. Like giving, like on a different podcast, it was like giving birth without an epidural. That's not unique. Hundreds of thousands of women have done that. But you feel unique because we're told we're all unique. But your situations, really, you can find likeness. All right, we love you. Bye.
You.
Oh, wait, we didn't do our giveaway.
We do this every time.
We do.
Say bye. We're like, hello, which I hear is like the Wisconsin goodbye. Isn't that, haven't you seen that?
Oh, yeah, the Midwest goodbye.
Yeah, the Midwest goodbye. You just say goodbye and then, oh, and? Woo-hoo.
Okay, so that's what I'm not going to cut that goodbye out. We're keeping this Midwest goodbye. So if you stayed this long, I was going to do this in the middle. Dang.
No. So we want you guys to give us some shout outs.
Yep. Share us on Instagram.
Yeah, and
share us on Instagram and tag us in it, because we have to see it. That's how you're going to get entered in, is us seeing that you shared us on Instagram. And you'll get entered in for a $50 Target gift card that we will email to you. So you tag us, we'll pick a winner. We will then reach out to you for your email and email you a $50 Target gift card. We
want to meet more women and get our podcast out there. And it takes your help. And we appreciate you.
We do. And we love you so much.
Yeah.
And we want to keep sharing. We have lots of great
and if there's ever anything you want
to hear about,
let us know.
Yeah. Reach out.
Every week, we're going to come at you. So if there's anything that you guys can think of, or anything that you've related to what we talked about, message us.
Yeah. With your feedbacks, lets us be better to serve you. Right?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go in. We're going to work out. We're going to finish these coffees with our extra shots of espresso.
Oh, we tried the new lavender one from Caribou today. It's good.
It was. We loved it. It was super good. We added extra shots. We can be hype because, you know, we're going to have a great day. Great podcast episode.
It's nice and sunny.
Great workout.
But cold.
Icy. Okay, we love you. Love you.